What's up, YouTube? Back at you again, here with another video. So today it's a very hot one. It is a calm 95-degree day, feel like 104. Okay, so we're not doing anything outside today, so we're gonna make this quick and explain to you the method to my madness. So as you can see from the title of the video, we're going to be scrapping all of this. Yes and no, but more or less scrapping it. So since I've been designing a lot more and got more comfortable behind the computer, I'm actually going to be designing my body kit on the computer, which, and then, you know, honestly would, you know, make my life a lot easier because I'll be able to make a right and a left. Well, right, left, you know, very easy. So there's nothing wrong with this method, but definitely this method, I believe it requires more work. Not that the other method, you know, it's easy, but this method I feel like it requires more work, because not only do I have to make this side, then I have to make that side, and then vice versa with the rear, and then, you know, you have to make sure that they're both even on both sides, and, you know, what have you. Everything has to look uniform. So being that I can 3D design it and 3D print it, you know, all I would have to do is just mirror it, and boom, I have both sides basically made at the same time. So to get this done, we are actually going to do a series of, you know, trial and error. We have a large enough 3D printer, and I had it for years, so I've been 3D printing for a long time. So if you guys need anything 3D printed, hit me up. But we are going to basically design it, 3D print an actual body kit. Pretty sure it's going to be in pieces. We're going to put it all together, make sure everything is lined up, sized up, and perfect. And then we're going to inverse that, make the mold, 3D print the mold, you know, gel coat it, make it look super smooth, and then we can make a fiberglass copy. So my body kit more or less goes along with the dimensions of the car. Gotta find a piece where I can bounce off of here, but it's more or less not too wide. Okay, here we go. So it's about 2 inches off from the body. And now that I know that, this is basically the distance of how far the wheel pokes out. I want to make the wheel super flush, so we're just gonna try and measure it, how much farther it needs to go out. About another 3/4 of an inch. So 2 3/4. 2 inches here, 2 3/4 here, and then we'll swoop it back. So whatever that is, that doesn't matter. So as you can see, we have an 1.5 inch spacer to get what we want with this wide body kit, and that's about all the measurements we need. So let's go ahead and take these measurements and throw them on the computer. All right, guys, so we are here in my own little fantasy world. This is my 944 that I created on Rhinoceros 5. If you guys know about Rhinoceros, it's a pretty cool, very abstract 3D design software that allows you to do whatever you want. So you can see this is my fantasy 944, all the way up to equipped with the TE37s here. Everything basically downloaded offline and just went ham with it. Eventually I'll get a 3D scanner and start doing a bunch of other stuff, but for now all this stuff is just what we found online. So you can see we have a bunch of things that will eventually go on the 944. Like eventually we get real TEs. This is my rear bumper design. Made it like a long while ago. Kind of stick the tranny out to, you know, kind of symbolize what we're doing with that, but I'll eventually fix that. But yeah, you can see we kind of touched the interior here. Look at this. This thing is cool, guys. And now you can guys actually see like why I actually wanted to design everything in 3D. It's actually super simple. Oops. It's actually super simple. Really like this kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So as you can see, we can actually divide this car up into several pieces. You see that's the mirror. Let's go ahead and turn on the wide body. We can turn off the body mesh. And now just by turning off the body mesh, we can now actually separate these things into separate pieces. This actually helps us out a lot in terms of designing. So now we can go ahead and trim, cut, add, subtract, everything super simply. First thing I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to say is this model is not 1000% accurate. It's 100% accurate, not 1000% accurate, if you guys understand what I mean by that, which means it's like 98 point something. It's very, very down to the T. I measured a couple points and the car really seems like it is true to spec, but because this is not an actual 3D scan, there's actual, discrepancies. Like this may, like the length may not be proper, the width might not be proper, but everything was scaled uniformly. So hopefully we're just going to go off of that. If anything, I'll take more measurements, and after we 3D print the wide body, we'll definitely be able to see if it fits or not. So that being said, we have 1.5 inch spacers on our TE37s. So let's go ahead and grab the both of them and minus them 1.5 inches, 1.5 of an inch, and that gives us our little poke. Now, if you guys remember, I don't know, it was probably like a year ago when I made my first video of slamming this car on my yellow speed coilovers. That's about how it looked. That's about how it looked on my 10.5 inch rim on the back with, I think it's 265 tires here. So the front, I didn't replicate the same size tires that I have on the car because I actually want to change it. Back then I wanted to do a really hot boy and like stretch the crap out of my tires, but now they're going to be flush tires, so we're going to make the new wide body to the rim, because eventually the new tires will go to the rim. So this is actually not too bad. This actually replicates what it actually looks like outside, so this is actually pretty good to go off of. Alright guys, now we can get to the styling of the body kit now that the measurements are all done. So, for starters, I guess we can say my inspiration will definitely come from Porsche themselves. So, if you guys are Porsche lovers, you guys know that the brand new GT3 RS came out for the 992, and that car just looks amazing. If you can see, they actually just accentuated the curves of the OEM 992 and just add a bit of flair to it with a bunch of fangs and a bunch of vents and whatnot. Just gave it that GT3 RS look. So the goal of this body kit is to actually think, like, how would Porsche give this body, give the 944 the GT3 look? Obviously they would never give the GT3 look, but we can just sit here and pretend to see what that actually might look like. So the goal of my body kit is to actually accentuate the curves just like Porsche and add a bunch of vents and make it look very, very, very track oriented, kind of hill climb, kind of, very style. You guys understand. I hope you guys understand. Alright, so you guys have to bear with me here. I'm not very good at explaining my ideas while designing at the same time. I mostly just go and just do, basically. That's more or less what I am, mostly just a doer. And yeah, I guess you guys will see after I'm finished. Alright guys, I'm back again after that long break, but we finally have a fender. And man, is she going to be wide. So you can see, heavily inspired by the RS here. Giant vent with our turn signal kind of holder kind of thing. The whole top of the vent to the body together. Nice little side skirt. We're going to extend that on the rest of the car over here. And then we have a nice swooping fender with 3 vents. I didn't really want to do the whole how they swoop it down. Let's see if I can find a picture here. I didn't really want to do the whole swooping down kind of fender thing. It's not too hard to do, but I feel like because the body of the 992 is just a lot more curvier than the 944, it didn't feel like it will work. So we decided to actually just do these instead. Still, they kind of look like them. This, like, you know, still inspired by it, so they kind of look like them. And they just don't have the curve down towards this vent right here, which is completely fine. I'm fine with that. So you can see we have the vent right here in front of the wheel, slightly ahead of the wheel to get the out of the gets the negative airspace out of here, you know, that high speed air going over the tire. Give it a nice little spot to breathe out. And then on top of that, this front vent is higher than the rest of them also to create more downforce than the rest. So this will create like a negative air kind of up swoop, and then the rest of them just bleed out air. So that's exactly the thing behind these vents and this fender. And you can see we have our own fender arch well to keep all of this in. And yeah, so let's go ahead and put this on the car now. Move it over 100. And sheesh, she just looks amazing. I can turn the stock fender here. You can see what the stock fender was. Let's go ahead and turn that off now. You can see she is completely wider than just all wide. It's crazy. So it kind of looks like we pulled out the body straight just to match the pictures here. Let me see if I can find a good one. This one looks like it matches. You can see that we pull it out. Except we did it a little bit more aggressively for the 944. Just give it that more pizzazz look. All the way down to the side fenders. That's actually pretty nice. It's pretty nice. The side of the fender with this giant vent. You see the exposed wheel right here. I like it. I like it a lot. So 2 more things to work on. Then we could just mirror it off to the other side. Can't wait to get this car finished. It looks amazing. So we have to finish up the side skirt. We're going to pull that all the way. Oh yeah, and by the way, you guys can see we did bring it down a lot. Kind of like to mimic how my car is. If anything, I can raise my car up. But it is about 2 inches off the floor now. So that's not too bad. So you can see where the stock round body stops right here, and then the side skirt's lower to give it that lower to the ground look. So we're going to continue that all the way through, and then we're going to work on the rear fender. So I guess we should work on the rear fender first and then connect it both with the side skirts. Go ahead and give you guys a look at what the rear should look like. That's exactly how it should look. Just we're gonna grab the rear body line, pull it out, put a nice Porsche vent here. Let's see if we can find more pictures. Put a nice Porsche vent here, widen the fender. I might actually make this vent like a lot larger just for the look of it. And then we're gonna add another rear slat right here. So that's gonna be very, very cool. We're not going to show the process simply because I know this video is going to be super long. So, just going to snap my fingers and the vent is going to be finished. Alright guys, and here we are back with the rear And look at this thing. I think this thing looks so amazing. So you can see we went with the same design as the front half, pulled the fenders, make it look more archy. And then for the back half, instead of just making this all the way down, like, you know, how the true GT3 RS is, I felt like we should actually split it open and just allow all the, you know, brake cooling and whatnot. So I honestly think it's cool. I didn't want to put, you know, the little vent here because there's no engine back here in the 944. So decided to just do my own little thing. I think you guys will like it, honestly. I think it's pretty cool. Continue with that. Added the rear slat here. And then just finish it all off with like a sharp looking diffuser. So this honestly came out really nicely. Oh yeah, I also went back to the front half and added this door card right here, just like how on the 944, not the 944, on the GT3 RS, they actually have a new door design because it pulls out and whatnot. So this is more or less the same. You can see it extends off into the door, and I further pulled the wide body kit out as much as I, you know, could. Don't want to make it look comical here. So that's basically that. Let's just take a shot. Look at that. Like, this thing just looks amazing. Honestly, I'm really happy on how this kit came out. This is the side without the door cards. You can see the differences. The not so wide fender versus the extra wider fender. This side actually looks like more of a Coke bottle shape, and the driver's side, actually, you can see it looks a lot more aerodynamic, more sleek. This side just looks like it's missing something. So glad we actually ended up going with the added door card. So yeah, that's essentially how it looked before. So we also added a little bit more details. We went ahead and designed this little light for the turn signal here. I think it'd be pretty cool. I actually bought like a set of like small like motorcycle turn signals, and basically gonna chop it up and fit it inside here. So that's gonna be cool. I was thinking about doing the same for the front, but I didn't want to make it look too cheesy, so I just decided just to make it straight slat with aerodynamics and whatnot. All of the slats actually are pointed towards the front half of the car. You see it's flat here and pointed back half. Damn, this car just looks amazing. So you can see all of that. You can see like just the rear presence of this car. Like, jeez, I can't wait. So the next step, we're going to start to 3D print these body kits. Honestly, I think this is gonna be like definitely a couple rows of filament all here, what I'm looking at. So not too bad. But yeah, that's really about it, guys. So yeah, I know this wasn't the most entertaining video in terms of me actually physically doing something, but we're making strides towards our final goal. So that being said, don't forget to head on over to unsystematic.co, get all your unsystematic needs situated. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Never forget, never stop modifying.